Welcome to a brand new segment by Socially Desi. This is the Hustle Lounge.
Hustle Lounge aims at showcasing stories of entrepreneurs from across the world. The idea is to bring narratives that speak of real hustles that every founder has to go through to start and also run one's business.
In the Hustler clan, it truly takes one to know one, right, Garima?
Absolutely, Anurag. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Expect life lessons, hacks, and some real learnings and stories of entrepreneurs from world over.
In this episode of the Hustle Lounge, we interact with Nidhi Gupta, the founder of Shades of Spring. Shades of Spring is redefining the flower delivery experience across India, and it's making the giving and receiving of beautiful fresh flowers the joy it's meant to be. And Garima, what's the hustle that we are talking about today?
Hi, Anurag. Thank you. Welcome, Nidhi. The hustle that we see and we found this so endearing about you and your business is that the sheer grit that and determination that you had to run this business. You're running this business, this mainstream e-com business with WhatsApp and Excel. You started that business with just these two, with no tech support. And I think that's a sheer hustle that only a startup founder like you can do. So to begin this chat, what I want to really understand is that, you started your business while you were still working. You were in an e-com company with all the kind of 9 to 5 job and even beyond. How did you kind of manage work and business and start the startup?
Hey, hi Garima, hi Anurag. Thank you for having me here. So starting with, how I started, I left my job from a previous company and I was still looking for a job. And, I was not a flower person. But once I got married, I had a need of getting flowers. And before that, I did a trip to Europe and I was like, these are the kind of flowers I need in my house. And that is when I started before taking up another job. It's very easy to get off the track once you start working with, two responsibilities at the same time. What made me do it is purely the customers which I was, serving to, the kind of feedback I used to get from them. Week after week, before even getting the subscription over, they used to come back to me and say, they want to resubscribe for next 3 months or next 6 months. And that kept me going, and kind of feedback, people used to write to me that, this is what I was looking for always. And like, we are so glad you have started this flower delivery. I always wanted it. And these are the kind of things which made me feel that I'm going in the right direction because it was a new concept in India. And it was not something which was already experimented or, there was someone who has already done it and, okay, in the Indian market will work. So yeah, like purely like, the customers used to be so good that we always wanted to, okay, I have to give them and I have to serve them. So it was like,
Wonderful. And Nidhi, like generally what happens with a e-commerce business is that founders, they start off with an app or a website, right? Because that's what glamorizes the whole industry of e-commerce because, you want to have a very sexy app. You want your customers to have that UX experience, the top of the line. So people generally start off with that. But I think, you took a different route, right? Like Garima said in the start, you started with WhatsApp and Excel, right? So what was that key decision maker here that made you to start this business with just these two things?
So the first thing was, I was testing the model. And I wanted to have a better understanding before even, launching a website. Subscription is not, people take subscription of Netflix or, all these subscriptions are very common or, the subscription which is milk basket. So milk and all are very common subscription. But the softwares for them or, website is not something which is very easily available. So And the testing was also a very very important thing. And plus at the same time, I till now my company is bootstrapped, so we didn't had luxury to spend like today I want this and I'll get it. It was always like, does it make sense cost wise to invest in this thing at this point in time or not? So it was, I think after 7 8 months of running this, from weekend to weekend, I only used to operate on Saturday, Sunday, because the Monday to Friday was work. So after 7 8 months, I was like, no, I have to launch a website. And we could have taken a decision to launch an app, but again it was a cost decision, because it takes certain amount of money to invest in an app and then to get it live. So
True.
we're like, no, we'll start with a website
Yeah.
and we'll start and see how it can also be built, because our features were very unique. Like, we provide pause and resume to a customer. We provide a selection of future date, which all these things sound very simple, that yeah, that this should be available always. This is very, like, everyone has it. But these are the things
Yeah.
which are very very difficult to implement. It's not available. We have custom done our website at least 2 to 3 times to reach to a position where we are as of now. So yeah, so yeah, like that's about the entire thing.
Yeah. Fantastic. And you said you ran your business Saturday to Saturday because Monday to Friday you were in your full time job, and that's a sheer hustle to, get in from one full time job to then move in from Saturday and then again look at those WhatsApp messages and Excel sheets and kind of run this business. But what made you? What was that point that made you quit your full time job? Was it a number that you had in mind, or was it more conviction that you got with traction or some validation, or what was that point of action? And I think that will really help our listeners and viewers, a lot of folks, when I think this is a very tough decision, right, Nidhi, and especially for a full-time working professional who's been doing this for very long, to quit that paycheck and say, okay, now I want to do this, full time. And if I'm realizing something on Saturday, I want to also invest my Monday to Friday there. What was that point in your life, if you can recap that for us?
So when I started it, again, it was never like that, it will become a big business, or where I am here. I never imagined it. So it was a one step at a time. And there was a point when I was like, okay, what I am doing parallelly is something which people wanted as a full-time thing, and it needs a lot of other things also to make it very fruitful thing for your customers. Because at one point in time you need to be very honest with your customers also, right? That if because we wanted to we saw it as a becoming a flower company of India. And it came gradually. It was not like on day one I wanted to become that. On day one I just wanted to give flowers to the customer and just make their homes pretty. But gradually it sounded like, okay, I had 200 customers and I have to serve them, and they also want class on other days. And if anything goes wrong on Saturday, Sunday, I had another Saturday, Sunday to work on it, because Monday to Friday I was full packed with my current job. So I was like, this is a business and I want to give it a full time shot. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I have to give it an honest shot to it, and then we'll see how it will turn out to be. So yeah, that is when we also put as a company incorporation, and launched our website. We put our money, invested a little money. Since I was working that time, I had a luxury to invest money on certain things. So invested money on website, and yeah, got everything done.
Wonderful. I think, that is a key point there when it comes to incorporating your business, launching your website, when that should happen. Like, when in the timeline of your business, when is the time when you should incorporate and then, put in your money for all the website, app, or, different things. I think a lot of people get caught up in this process. They want to incorporate everything in the start, do everything before even, getting their hands dirty into the business. So I think, our viewers definitely would get a lot many good insights as we move along in the episode. So we touched base upon the subscription model for a bit, at the start of the episode. Nidhi, I would like to know more about it because, when it comes to flowers in India, generally it's like a gift, right? And a one-time gift. Either you're going to someone's marriage or you're going to their anniversary, you're gifting to your boyfriend, girlfriend, whosoever. So it's like a one-time thing, occasional kind of an affair, right? And you changed that, right? So I really want to understand how did you come about figuring this whole process of making it a subscription model and then making it something which can be a regular thing, that from weekend to weekend you get new flowers, new bunch of fresh flowers in your home, and you keep your home decorated throughout the year. So what was the thought process? What was, how did you come about with this subscription model?
So to start with, it was always going to be a subscription model. That is what we always wanted because we wanted to send, beautiful flowers from the farms which are grown in India to the homes and want people to enjoy flowers because, I have been from a small town and I always had a garden and we always used to have, big gardens. But after moving out of the home, it was never like a single time when I had a pot also with flowers in it. But it was always there in back of my mind. That is one of the most fond memories of mine if I look back. So it's like I want to give beautiful flowers to people, and when I got married, and we wanted to also look into how the market is, how the local flower market is. Me and my husband, we went. Me and my husband, we went to the local market. We picked up lilies. Like it was a bunch of 10 lilies. We got it to our home, and when it bloomed and the fragrance which it gave at that point, I can still have that fragrance. I was like, this is this I can keep at all point in time in my house, and it gives us so much joy. And everyone who is coming in, I remember my parents were there at that time, and they were also like, wow, like where are you getting these kind of flowers? And it was always a happy feeling whenever you enter the living room, and that is what we wanted to give. It was always a subscription model, and till date also, that is one thing we want to keep it very honest at the lowest price. We don't make much margins there because we want to deliver flowers. We want people to love flowers and understand flowers because in India, when we started, and I personally knew only rose and orchid, and lily also I knew by name but not how it looked like. So now, like when I see my customer, they come back to me and they tell me, sweet William, may this time it is not that great, the earlier one was good, or this time it is this, it's amazing, what is this flower? And we send individual flowers time with name written on them, so they also understand, okay, this is this flower and the vase life. It has changed a lot, like since we started till now. So yeah, so it is always going to be subscription first company. That's what we want to be.
But when it comes to somebody who wants to start a business, right, especially an e-commerce business, when and why should they get into subscriptions? Because like for you it was always a subscription model that you had in mind, but for a lot of people that may not be
Yeah.
the case. So what would be your advice to entrepreneurs who are looking for an e-commerce business or maybe thinking about it and they're stuck whether they should do an subscription model or do like a one time buy thing? So what would you recommend, and why and when should they start?
So, it's about working a lot on your product, what you are offering. And is that offering making sense to your customer to buy on a regular basis also? And how regular they want to buy. Ours is a weekly thing. When we started, people said, why don't you give flowers daily? Like it's not required, it stays fresh for a week, and you need it post 1 week only. And then but different customers had different needs, right? So So it was we have worked on a product from scratch. We made sure like we're giving the excellent product which is there, which people don't have. Second, what is that hidden need which customer has? There is in a food industry, we are also experimenting with, not experimenting but thinking that when I go home and I want to cook meal, I don't have time. But if I have, everything cut in with all the ingredients, I would love to make my own food. So identifying those needs are very important for any business, and not all business can go into a subscription model, right? People would also want to buy it at certain frequency. Some businesses doesn't make at all sense to go into subscription, like clothing business. But clothing also, specifically if you have t-shirts or any other clothing, if there's another side, then you can get into. So it's all about your product and how you are solving a specific need with that product. And you don't have to solve the need for each and every customer which exists. You have to solve the need for customer. There has to be enough people who want that product, but you can't solve it for everyone that's there. So you create the variations, and you play around that. So I'll give you an example. Like a lot of our customers, like we have still not started, but they ask us to, they have a lot of pets in their house, or someone is not allergic. So, we have to start a pet friendly option, but we are still, in the product stage only. And we have not, and it's been like our business is now, more than 2 years old. We are still, have not launched because we know we are not there, because it need to be right when you have to launch. And we know there's a market, it's a sizable amount of market, but launching is not the only thing. You need to work on the product a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, makes sense, and very, very well said in terms of identifying the need, the real need, and the hidden need of the customer. And I think everybody here is just trying to get to that, right? What really? So since you are looking at these flowers which are coming directly from local farms, how difficult is that barrier to deal with, to source it locally. I'm sure you have a model which is making sure that they are far more profitable in sort of dealing with you vis-a-vis whatever else they are trying to do. How difficult is it? Is local issues like delivery or language a barrier for you? And if it was, how are you overcoming that?
So yeah, so I started Shades of Spring, post 3 months from moving to Bangalore. I had no idea, how the Bangalore looked like, or what are the areas in Bangalore. And local language, I'm still, I can understand little, but I'm not, very well versed with the local language. So initially, it was lot of struggle, because a lot of farmers who come around from around Bangalore, they only used to speak local language. So it was one step at a time. For me, getting to the source was very important. And with the wholesalers in place, it's very difficult to get to the source, because you don't get contacts very easily. So I used to
Yeah.
search on Facebook. I
True.
used to search on all the channels which are possible, or if I've overheard any of the names, or there's a packaging which comes to wholesaler, someone has written their number. I used to search for the farmers, that okay, how to get to them. But then once I've gotten to the farmer network, there the language is not a problem, but the trust was something which needed to be built, and it has gone. It
Yes.
is slowly which we have built. Starting from small amount of flour. So there are 2 3 farmers of mine who I've been working for more than 2 3 years. And flower industry is like a spike and a dip. Soon a spike, you get very good price and all that, from the farmer point of view, I'm saying. But when it's a dip,
Hmm.
you're either it's you give it at a loss price, or you throw the crop, because transportation is much expensive than the cost of your flower. So we have made sure that each and every week we are picking some amount of flowers from these farmers. And quantum has increased from what I was picking when I started. It's at least 20 times more now, and we are picking from them on a weekly basis.
Fabulous.
So that trust is built in now. Earlier it was like, first you give money, then only we'll ship it. It started from there, and now it is like, okay, our money is safe with you. So that level of thing which is, come into place. And it's a gradual thing, I think, for any business you need to. And that is why, the sourcing is something which is very core of our business. And I handle it personally. I, make sure that I interact with each and every farmer. I understand what is their problem. If there is an issue, and in the perishable industry, there are a lot of issues, like right from the quality of seeds which are available in India to, how to import it, the technology which is available, the knowledge, how to grow it. All these farmers, they started watching all the channels I have given them from outside India, and they follow that,
Hmm.
so that they know,
Great.
how, what is the
Okay.
right time to harvest, or how they should grow and all that. Which are, basic things. I keep sharing it with that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they are your, in a way, the partners that you have. I think you have to be equally invested with them as much as you're trying to understand your customers' need. It was very important to understand
Yes, yes,
what your
definitely.
farmers' needs
It
were.
is
And
very, very important, especially in a, non-standard industry. In a standard industry, when
yeah,
you have a manufacturing unit or something like that, it's all fixed. You understand the consumer, you fix all the things, and you build up your supply chain. But in a non-standard industry, where you deal with a perishability of 3 days, it's very important to have, all the supply chain things stitched up, which I never, imagined when I started that supply chain is something which I have to solve, and sourcing is something. I was like, when I went first into the market, it was like, there's so many flowers, and why it's so good, and like why people are not getting it. To now, like it's always, flower crunch. I was like, okay, we are not growing this, and we have to grow this, and how to bring this to India. The conversation has changed totally from then to now.
For sure, I think I completely agree with that. That when it comes to a non-standardized, or a non-organized sector, it's really difficult for a new business to come in and adapt to the market environment, the supply chain, and understanding each and every nuts and bolts of the whole machinery. But I'm sure. When you enter this kind of an industry as an entrepreneur, you create your own processes, you create your own chain of things that need to be done in each of these steps of the supply chain. So how were you managing this quality? Because you spoke about, because it's perishable,
yeah,
you need to ensure that the deliveries are happening, and you have, like, I can see on the website there are like so many varieties of flowers now that you are shipping across 4 different cities. So what kind of processes did you incorporate in your business, which can really help our users as well, our viewers, when it comes to ensuring quality for a business?
So Anurag, to be honest, quality in the perishable industry, it's from the source. Be it a food industry, if you are buying the best grain or best material, you will get, a very good quality of the vegetables you're buying. So similarly for us, because at, till 1 year from now, you're also thinking, how to increase the customer base, and that is, the biggest thing, because once you have a sizable, customer base and sizable business, then it makes sense to, go back and solve your supply chain. So, in terms of solving the supply chain, what we did was we connected with farmers at a very good level, where we did a good level of projections for them. So, and we gave them surety that if you grow something, or if we have gotten or imported seeds from some vendors and given it to them and told them, this is something which we'll, entirely take, and this is the harvest rate you don't have to worry about. We will take it, we'll consume. You just grow and grow a good quality flower. Logistics is more or less, okay. It's not something which largely broken when it is from the farmer to any of the metro cities. If you have to go to one step, down in Bangalore, luckily, it's a hub of flowers in India, and there's so many farmers which are, one day around, just a 1 day distance, and flowers, they have
Yeah.
a vast life of 5 to 10 days on an average. So those were the
Hmm.
things which are very favorable to us, and that is why we thought, at that point in time, we just have to secure that. But right now, sitting now, we are solving the sourcing. We are interacting with a lot of players outside to understand how we can get the seeds. We have already figured out. We want to get into the contract farming so we can grow something with good quality and make sure our supply is very secure. Uh, that is next
Correct.
maybe 1 year plan for our business. But to start with, I don't think us or any other business has to secure the supply. To start, in 1 or 2 years, you have to figure out the demand. If demand is not there, then there's no point doing all the other things you're doing for the supply chain. So once you have a sizable demand, then you go ahead and change all the things in the industry, which we also want to do. We want to digitize. This is very unorganized sector if you in terms of ordering. I for an example, if I have let's say 1 acre of farm, only my wholesaler knows that I have the production. There is no one else in India knows that this
Yeah.
farmer has a production, right? And so I am just dependent on my wholesaler to sell my entire produce. So there is no technology, nothing which has been there in the industry. So yeah, so those are things to solve, but you solve something when you yourself has a sizable business to solve it for. So yeah.
No, that's great. I think, small things, I think each step requires your attention and a different kind of, steps or processes in order to make sure that the whole system is running fluently. And yes, solving a lot of issues at the source itself makes sense, because at the end of the day, in this whole supply chain, there's no case of, keeping inventories, because it doesn't really help in any case. So I think, great conversation, great discussions, Nidhi. And guys, if you are watching us or listening to us, please make sure you go check out shadesofspring.in. And they are delivering right now in 4 cities, which are Bangalore, Bombay, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Any plans to open up new stores in Delhi? Come to Delhi as well.
Yes, we want to first stabilize all the things. We still don't have same day delivery and next day delivery in all these cities. So we want to, have that going and the ball rolling. Because once we know, how to do it, then it would be very easy to replicate in all the other cities. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Garima, any closing thoughts?
No, I think this has been a fantastic chat, Nidhi. The amount of time you have spent, on both ends, I would say, of the business to understand sourcing and spend time with your farmers, and you've spent equal amounts of time with your customers, and very, very endearing to see the kind of feedback you have taken from customers and grown your business with that feedback. So we wish you very, very well. Your hustle of starting a business, without any hesitation, of going to a new city. So many people would give up starting a business. Anurag and I were just talking. People move to new cities and they always end up thinking that, oh my God, if I had the comfort of my previous city where I was living for 10 years, it would have been so much easier. But I think you break
Yeah.
all those barriers so seamlessly. No one needs technology. You come from an e-com background, but you started a business with zero tech. That is fantastic. So congratulations on that. And I'm a proud customer of Shades of Spring. So please go and subscribe. That's a great business that Nidhi is running, and we both wish you well. Thank you so much for this chat today.
What an amazing session today. So, guys, if you're waiting for that perfect tech to launch your product, don't. There's nothing bigger than understanding customers and validating the need for the product.
Absolutely, Anurag. Great session today, I agree. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. If you want to reach us for suggestions with the stories you would like to hear, or in case you have a hustle that you'd like us to share, or you know a hustler, please do reach out to us. You can email us at hustlelounge@sociallydesi.com.
Until next time, please share this story, share your thoughts on the Shades of Spring hustle, and don't forget to subscribe to the Hustle Lounge.
See you next Tuesday. Keep hustling.